Happy Death Day is both the best and the worst title for the film. It's the best because it perfectly describes what it is, and the worst because it just sounds so silly. Although being that this is a horror comedy, it fits better than I expected. Happy Death Day is essentially the horror version of Groundhog Day. Not the first to do this, I believe that was 2007's The Deaths of Ian Stone. However, Happy Death Day shares more in common with Groundhog Day. The Deaths of Ian Stone was pretty serious, while Happy Death Day took itself just serious enough. It's about a girl who wakes up in a dorm with a wicked hangover. It's her birthday, and that night, someone murders her. She wakes up back in the dorm and proceeds to repeat the day over and over again, trying to figure out who's killing her and why. I'll admit, I wasn't expecting much. The trailers made it seem more serious, plus from what I heard, it was rated R and trimmed down to PG-13. Despite that, I was pleasantly surprised. Rather than going the serious horror route, it sticks its tongue firmly in cheek and has fun with the premise. The ridiculously named Tree is murdered every night, and when she tries to outwit her killer, that only leads to her dying another way. Much like Groundhog Day, it was interesting and fun to see what Tree did differently each day and how it affected the turnout. What I liked was just how enjoyable it was. The pacing was brisk, and while we saw some scenes over and over, they did their best to mix them up. A big surprise for me was the lead. At the beginning of the film, we're introduced to Tree, and she was this drunken, self-centered mess. I kept thinking to myself, this is who the audience is supposed to root for? However, as the days unfold, we see more into her character, and come to the realization that she's not as shallow as we first thought. It's not very often you go from hating a character to loving them within the same movie. I liked how the film was self-aware of its roots. Also liked how they changed things up from the Groundhog Day formula. They even had fun with the concept by restarting the Universal logo in the beginning. I did enjoy the repeat death montage. Also, I love the 16 Candles homage. While it was PG-13, they got away with more language than I expected. Maybe they're finally lightening up on that after the whole King's Speech debacle. The violence is where the PG-13 hurt. There were a few surprises, but some things like bloodless gunshots stood out. In the trailer, whenever Tree wakes up, she hears "In the Club," mirroring Bill Murray waking up to "I've Got You, Babe." Although I guess they only licensed the song for the trailer, because it isn't here. I don't know exactly what it was. I think it was a Crazy Frog birthday song. Whatever it was annoying, but I was happy not to hear "It's Your Birthday" 20 times. The big final showdown was kind of underwhelming, because they had so much leading up to it. I think it just needed to be a little bit more over the top to go along with the rest of the film. Happy Death Day isn't going to win any prizes for originality, but it wins in fun factor. Jessica Rothe is absolutely charming, and her performance elevated the film. It was energetic, occasionally silly, and tons of fun. They switched the days up enough so that even though you were seeing the same things over and over again, it didn't get stale. I just hope they release the R-rated or unrated cut on DVD.